The Arabian Sea breathed in slow, shimmering rhythms, each wave folding itself gently onto the warm sands of Juhu Beach like a whispered secret. The sky, painted in hues of molten gold and fading coral, seemed to pause in admiration of the evening unfolding below. Amid the hum of laughter, the distant calls of vendors, and the soft hush of tides, Jenny stood still for a moment, barefoot, grounded, and smiling in a way that felt both new and timeless. "We are enjoying our stay at Juhu Beach, Mumbai," she had said earlier, but the words now felt too small, too simple to capture what her heart was holding. Because this wasn't just a stay. It was a chapter. It was a quiet victory. It was a love story continuing to write itself in grains of sand and salt-kissed air. Jenny had never imagined that life would carry her this far, across continents, across cultures, across fears she once thought immovable. Back then, everything had felt uncertain, like stepping into a fog where even her own thoughts echoed back unfamiliar. But now, standing at the edge of the sea, she felt clarity in the chaos of crashing waves. Behind her, the beach buzzed with life. Children ran in zigzag patterns, their laughter skipping like stones across water. Couples walked hand in hand, some in silence, others in animated conversation. Street food vendors worked with practiced rhythm, flipping, frying, serving, filling the air with the irresistible aroma of spices and warmth. And somewhere in that vibrant blur of humanity, her story fit perfectly. Not because it was ordinary, but because it had become beautifully real. She turned slightly, catching sight of him approaching, unhurried, familiar, carrying 2 cups of something steaming and fragrant. His smile found her before his words did, as if it had memorized the path. "You look like you've made friends with the ocean," he teased gently, handing her a cup. Jenny laughed, accepting it. "I think it's been talking to me." "Oh," he raised an eyebrow, "and what did it say?" She glanced back at the waves, considering. It said, "Things change, but they still come back, again and again, stronger each time." He nodded, as if the ocean's wisdom made perfect sense. "That sounds about right." They stood side by side, sipping slowly. The tea was sweet, spiced, and grounding, just like the moment. The sun dipped lower, now brushing the horizon with a final, lingering glow. It felt like the world was holding its breath, unwilling to let go of the light just yet. Jenny remembered the first time she had felt this kind of peace. It wasn't here. It wasn't even in this country. It was a fleeting moment, years ago, when she realized that real love wasn't about perfection. It wasn't about easy answers or seamless journeys. It was about choosing, again and again, even when things felt complicated. Especially then. And now, here she was, thousands of miles from where she started, feeling that same quiet certainty settle into her bones. A group of teenagers nearby started playing music from a small speaker, their energy contagious. One of them began dancing, exaggerated and joyful, pulling laughter from everyone around. For a second, Jenny hesitated, watching, smiling, but something inside her nudged forward. "Come on," she said suddenly, setting her cup down. "What?" he asked, amused. "We're not just going to stand here." Before he could protest, she grabbed his hand and pulled him toward the music. At first, it was awkward, a little clumsy, a little self-conscious, but then something shifted. Maybe it was the rhythm. Maybe it was the laughter. Or maybe it was the simple realization that nobody here was judging, everyone was just living. Jenny let go of hesitation and leaned into the moment, her movements free, her smile wide and unguarded. The world blurred into color and sound and joy, and for those few minutes, nothing else existed. No past doubts. No future worries. Just now. When the song ended, applause erupted, not because it was perfect, but because it was real. Jenny caught her breath, laughing as she stepped back. "Okay, maybe I needed that." "Maybe?" He grinned. "You look like you've been waiting your whole life for that." "Maybe I have," she admitted softly. They walked again after that, slower this time, letting the evening settle around them like a gentle blanket. The sky had deepened into indigo, dotted with the first hesitant stars. Lights from nearby stalls flickered to life, casting warm glows across the sand. Jenny noticed everything. The way the breeze carried hints of salt and spice. The way strangers smiled at each other without needing a reason. The way the ocean never stopped moving, never stopped trying again. It reminded her of something she had learned the hard way, that life doesn't pause for clarity. It keeps going, it flows, it changes. And you either resist it, or you learn to move with it. Do you ever think about how different things could have been? She asked suddenly. All the time, he replied honestly. And? He shrugged lightly. I think we would have missed this. Jenny nodded. Not just this beach. Not just this evening. But this version of themselves. The one that had been shaped by every challenge, every doubt, every decision to stay instead of walk away. They found a quieter spot, away from the crowds, where the waves rolled in softer and the world felt just a little more private. Sitting down, Jenny drew patterns in the sand with her fingers, circles, lines, shapes that didn't need meaning. Do you ever feel like we're still figuring things out? She asked. He chuckled. I hope so. She looked at him, curious. Because the moment we think we have everything figured out, he continued, we stop growing. Jenny considered that. Growth. It wasn't always comfortable. Sometimes it felt like breaking. Sometimes it felt like starting over. But sitting here, feeling the sand beneath her, hearing the ocean's endless song, she realized something important. Growth also felt like this. Like peace. Like presence. Like knowing that wherever you are, you've earned your place there. A wave crept closer than expected, brushing against their feet and leaving behind a cool, fleeting touch. Jenny laughed, pulling back slightly. Even the ocean wants to join us, she said. Or maybe it's reminding us, he replied. Reminding us of what? That nothing stays still. Jenny smiled. And that's okay, she said. Time slipped by unnoticed, as it tends to do when moments feel full. Eventually, the beach began to quiet, families packed up, vendors closed their stalls, and the music faded into the distance. But Jenny didn't feel the need to leave just yet. There was something about this place, this night, this feeling that made her want to hold on just a little longer. We should come back tomorrow, she said. We will, he replied without hesitation. And the day after that? He smiled. If you want. I do. She leaned back, looking up at the sky now fully dressed in stars. Each one seemed like a tiny promise, distant, steady, enduring. For so long, she had searched for certainty in the wrong places, in plans, in expectations, in outcomes she thought she needed. But now, she understood something different. Certainty wasn't about knowing exactly what would happen next. It was about knowing that whatever came, she wouldn't face it alone.